After the 1990 election, one chap said, what did the Chinese want? And that chap was Najib Tun Razak. That was in 1990 when he was Umno youth chief. I think it's easy to use racial argument, but to say that this election was an MCA problem may not necessarily be true at all. From my point of view, MCA was not relevant to the Chinese after the 1986 election. In the 1986 election, because of the what they call the MCAs, you read about Matang and all this recently. In the 1980s, there was deposit-taking cooperatives that took money from ordinary Chinese. There were all these big corporations that MCA leaders were involved, and Chinese, in particular MCA members, put their life saving into the hands of the MCA leaders. And from then on, when the whole thing collapsed, I don't think Chinese voted for MCA ever. In the 1990 election, the Chinese voted against Mahathir. In the 1995 election, the Chinese voted for Mahathir. In the 1999 election, the Chinese voted for BN for the fear of because of fear factor, because of the alleged or the rumored riot that will happen, like what happened in Indonesia. And in 2004, the Chinese middle ground voted for Patla, voted for the new prime minister. So I think what has always been important is Umno policy. It's a policy that is pursued by Umno. Basically, there was Barisan Nasional had no Chinese problem, in the sense that when Mahathir was looking for a scapegoat, it was the American, it was the Jews, it was the British, it was the Australian, and at times Singaporeans. But between 1991 and 2005, and that was the result of the 1990 election. In the 1990 election, it was very clear that the Chinese middle ground voted overwhelmingly for the opposition. And of course, Najib was the first one to ask, what did the Chinese want? What more did the Chinese want? I think Umno lost the Chinese ground, Umno lost the Indian ground, if you want to racialize it. I think from then on. And the problem has nothing to do with MCA. I think MCA has always been like that, since 1986. The question is, was Umno handling the whole questions of relationship between or among ethnic groups in a very different way from July 2005 onwards. So I think that is what we are getting at the moment. This is what Umno is getting at this election, and this is just a continuation of what happened in 2008, except that this time it happened in the south. It's a continuation of that wave that came to the south. If you look at the numbers, you have a substantial number of Malays voted the same way, like they did in 2008. You have a substantial number of Chinese voted the same way, except that this time it extends to Johor. On the question of one symbol, I mean, we wanted to contest with one symbol. We wanted to contest under the banner of Pakatan Rakyat. We applied, our application was rejected, and we almost contested under one symbol, or two symbols. On the eve of election, DAP decided to contest under the pass ticket in Peninsula and under the PKR symbol in Sabah and Sarawak. I had passed what they call the nomination paper. So I think we didn't want to contest under three separate symbols. We were prepared to contest under one symbol, except that we were not allowed to do so. And therefore, I think the election result should be seen as a contest between two coalitions. And we were going around the country telling voters that non-Malay should vote for PAS and Malay should vote for DAP. I think that message was very consistent. And everyone voted for Keadilan. I think that message was very clear. We were contesting as a coalition. And I think anyone who thinks that they can break up Pakatan in the next 5 years they can, like what they used to think. I think the Umno war room in the last 5 years were hoping that they'll, and were attempting to break up the opposition coalition, hoping that you will go back to square one, where Umno is dominant, where Barisan Nasional is the only coalition, only viable coalition, winning across ethnic line. I think it won't happen. We are basically a two-party, two-coalition situation from 2008 onwards. And I think that reality should be recognized.